Good afternoon. We'll get started. Welcome to Return to the Vault. We're glad you're here. I'm Mary Walker, and I'm joined by Kyle Smalling, and together we co-chair the Return to the Vault committee. We're happy to have you with us. Just if you're new to Return to the Vault, it's a program of the real property section, and we just provide practical, timely education and connection for section members. It's inspired by the collaboration that once happened in the vault Register of Deeds offices across North Carolina. So this is just a way to bring us together on Zoom to share ideas, updates like we'll hear today. And I also heard this morning that some of you literally returned to the vault last week because you didn't have internet. So I've loved to hear how that was. Hopefully you're up and running with internet today. But our programs are not offered for CLE credit, but they're recorded and they're now available on the Real Property section homepage. So you can always go back and watch past programs. All you have to do now is Google Real Property section, NCBA Real Property section, scroll down to the bottom, and you'll see it says Real Property Roundtables, and then you'll click on Watch Now. So you don't have to log in anymore to be able to access everything. Also, be on the lookout for Return to the Vault on Demand blog posts on the Real Property section blog. It's just an extension of Return to the Vault, and it gives us a flexible way to share updates and guidance that may come up in between our live program. So just be on the lookout for those. Before we begin, I just wanted to thank you guys, all of those who attended the 2026 annual meeting in Asheville. It was a lot of fun and enjoyed seeing you all there. Whether you were in person or online, we just appreciate you being there. We had over 100 attorneys join us and just a lot of great sponsors and good time together. Today, we're excited to hear from Peter Muller, and he is the founder of Muller and Smith in New Bern. He's a transactional attorney and focuses on the representation of clients in residential real estate transactions. Peter is the husband to Sarah, father to two sons, and his dog Tank, and he's an active member in his community. In addition to a very busy practice in life, he's devoted a lot of time and energy to serving the real property section. So he currently serves as chair of the section and co-chairs the Consumer Protection Committee. And so on behalf of all of us, Peter, we're just thankful for your leadership and your service and your work over the past year for the section and for all of us. So thank you for being with us and for sharing with us today about just all that's happened over the last year and what's ahead. So with that, I'll turn it over to you.
Well, Mary, thank you so much for the kind words and for your leadership and getting Return to the Vault to where it is today. Takes a lot of work to put something like this on. So we, on behalf of the section, thank you so much. We really appreciate all of your efforts. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. As Mary said, I'm Peter Moeller. I'm the chair of the real property section, and looking forward to just kind of going over the course of the last year and what's to come with the real property section. It's been a great honor to serve as chair of the section over the past bar year. And let me see. Okay. So I'm going to kind of give you the brief overview of the section, introduce you to the leadership and council, give you a little bit of a rundown on what we do, some of the communication we provide, some of the achievements that we've been able to do over the course of the last year, our current initiatives, future goals, and then I'll give everybody a chance to ask questions and answers at the end of my presentation. So just a 30,000 foot overview of the section. We're one of 30 sections within the NCBA. We're by far the largest section with, as of the annual meeting, it was reported that we have 2,230 members. Our leadership consists of the executive committee with a chair, vice chair, secretary, treasurer, and immediate past chair. There's 21 council members, three classes of seven each, 16 committees, and 5 liaison groups. The mission and the purpose of the real property section are to education and professional development, networking and collaboration, advocacy and legislative involvement, ethical and professional standards, public outreach, committee and leadership opportunities. And within those, for education and professional development, we provide resources on the website for the section on the NCBA uh, link there. We've got forms. We have the forms manual, CLE, joint forms with the NC Realtor documents. And then also we provide learning opportunities, CLEs, and try to really just help facilitate the members of the section being able to hone in their knowledge and skills within the real property practice in North Carolina. With networking and collaboration, we just really try to foster a sense of community amongst us. If you become active within the section, as many of if you're here, you probably are somewhat active within the section. Uh, Things like the listserv and return to the vault and other things. We've had several networking events throughout the course of last year. There was an oyster roast in Washington. We had the Hurricanes tailgate. Just really good opportunities to get to know your fellow practitioners. And then advocacy and legislative involvement. We have a very active legislative committee. And then Biz Harrison and Nancy really do help to run the ship. They really work hard and keep the executive committee just really in tune with a pulse on what's going on in Raleigh with regards to legislation and other things that will affect our practice. And then, obviously, with ethics and professional standards, we promote to uphold the highest ethical standards amongst real estate practitioners. We track, pending formal ethics opinions, and also have the Consumer Protection Committee, which helps to, ensure, consumer protection, and we report things to the Attorney General's office. We have hopefully, as of June, we will have a new consumer protection attorney for our section. Ben Kuhn has been tasked with that, and we're just waiting the formal approval at the annual meeting of the NCBA for that appointment. And then public outreach, obviously one of the goals is to educate the public about real estate issues, rights, and responsibilities, and through pro bono projects and other outreach to the community. And then finally, committee and leadership opportunities. We've got several committees. We've got the executive council. We've got the section leadership. As the soon to be immediate past chair, one of the things I'll be tasked with next year before the annual meeting will be to get a slate of 7 new council members. So if that's something you're interested in, please reach out to me. I'd love for everybody to be involved. It's something that's very worthwhile. It's something that has really contributed to my breadth and knowledge of what it is we do as practitioners. So highly recommend serving if it's something that you would like to do. And then at the NCBA level, the NCBA executive director is Jason Hensley. The NCBA president is Robert Harrington, and the president-elect is Beth Langley. And then our interim community manager is LaSarah Carter. She has done a great job for us in her interim capacity. I can't say enough good things about the job that she's done. I know that she's wearing many hats, so I think I saw LaSarah on here. I just want to tip my cap to her and thank her for keeping us going during a transition time within our community manager leadership. And then Mary already shared all this information. My Black Lab Tank, if you ever come to my office, he gets paid with back scratches and treats. So he's by far the cheapest employee we have. And the incoming NCBA Real Property Section Council executive committee for the upcoming bar year is going to consist of your new chair, Dave Neal. The vice chair will be Kyle Smalling. And then Mary has graciously agreed to step in as the secretary and treasurer. I will be the coveted immediate past chair. And then the engineer driving the train will continue to be the retired Nancy Ferguson. Again, Nancy really does do a lot for our section, and her services are just wonderful. And then I'd like to also recognize our outgoing section council members. David Martin served as chair and immediate past chair and has been on the executive committee and council. So David Martin, thank you for your service. And then the outgoing class of 2026 consists of Brittany Teague, Aaron Arnett, Nate James, Randy Herman, Tessa Leftwich, Bob Ramser with an asterisk, and Laura Martin. Bob has, when Mary rolled into the executive committee, she had to roll off of council. So Bob has graciously agreed to continue on to fill her seat for the upcoming year. So on the next slide here, you'll see that our class of 2027 consists of Abby Breedlove, Gracie Paulson, Zach Taylor, Sarah Delamar, Andy Van Trite, Mary Moss, and Bob Ramser. And then for the class of 2028, we've got Scott Bowers, Aaron Auld, Cameron Winfrey, Kathy Tran, Malia Williams, Sarah Dort, and Natasha Branch. And our newest members, who will be the class of 2029, they were voted on and approved at the annual meeting in Asheville, and that's Tanya Mason, Jimmy Haynes, Jeff Goebel, Elizabeth Snow, Sydney Santos, Samantha Decker, and Dottie Black. So congratulations to them, and thank you to them for their willingness to join the council and serve. And then I'll give you a rundown of the committee leadership. This is the past committee chairs. Dave Neal is actively recruiting and installing the 2026-2027 committee leadership, and those positions should be finalized here within the coming weeks. But on the administrative committee, we had Chair Nancy Ferguson. On CLE, it was Brittany Teague and Abby Breedlove. Commercial committee was co-chaired by Scott Bowers, Zach Taylor, and Cameron Winfrey. Communications committee by Mary Moss. Community associations by Matt Waters. Consumer protection by myself, Kyle Smalling, and Aaron Auld. And our Distinguished Service Award co-chairs were myself, Dave Neal, Dave Martin, and Kyle Smalling. Our ethics committee co-chairs were Tessa, Dave Neal, and Kyle Smalling. And then the Forms Committee co-chairs were David Martin and Bob Ramser. Legislative Committee consisted of Nancy Ferguson and Biz Harrison. And they did a good job. We have now greatly expanded that committee. And if that's something you'd be willing to serve on, Nancy has if you'll email Nancy, she'll add you to that list. And it'll give you the opportunity to have your pulse on what's going on in the legislature. There's some great discussion that goes on within that group. And so if you really want your pulse on what's going on in Raleigh, I'd highly encourage you to reach out to Nancy and get on that legislative committee list. And then membership and diversity was Andy Van Trite. Nominations committee chair was David Martin. Pro bono committee was Nate James. Residential committee co-chairs were Malia Williams and Gracie Paulson. Return to the Vault was Kyle and Mary. Social committee, Nate James and Kathy Tran. And then on top of that, we have liaisons to the real property section. For the past bar year, Fabiana Olivero was the paralegal division liaison. From the Real Estate Commission, Charlie Moody. Ann Wall from the Secretary of State's office, Sarah Dorr from the Young Lawyers Division, and then Andrea Davis for the Enterprise Justice Task Force. And by tradition, the NCLTA appoints 3 folks from NCLTA to serve. Generally, it's going to be the executive council members from the NCBA. And over the course of the past bar year, those were Laura Martin, Mary Moss, and Natasha Branch. And kind of give you a brief overview of when the council meets and when the executive committee meets. So we operate under a set of bylaws. And under the bylaws, the council is required to meet at least 4 times a year. Occasionally, in between meetings, we will act on an issue outside of that. At the meetings, we hear committee and liaison reports, study and decide on important legislative issues, plan events, CLEs, annual meetings, so on and so forth. And then the executive committee meets monthly on the first Wednesday of every month. But I will tell you, as a member of the executive committee, we are in contact with one another just about every day. So there are constantly things coming up within the real property section that we address, especially legislative matters, especially this time of year. We're active with all sorts of other things, whether it be Enterprise Odyssey, newly formed task joint forums group with NCLTA. There's really a lot of robust discussion that goes on between us on mainly a daily basis. Um, and then just some of the benefits of being a member of the real property section. These are forms. We've got the joint forms and forms manual, discounts. There's CLE discounts for real property, CLEs if you're a member, and we do have buy downs and annual meeting scholarships. The annual meeting scholarships is one of our newer things. This year we were able to grant severance scholarships to the annual meeting. So that was a great new way to utilize excess funds that we had in our budget for last year. And then also the networking and communication, as I touched upon earlier, the social events, the Hurricanes tailgate, and the oyster roast. The oyster roast, despite the threat of winter weather, I thought was well attended. The food was great. Atmosphere was wonderful. It's just a great opportunity to further connect with other real property practitioners. We have the list serve, and then the obviously the return to the vault program, and then legislative and ethics support. Again, we track and opine to our lobbyists concerning legislation impacting our practice, and then also provide input into pending ethics opinions with the North Carolina Bar, and then partner with legal aid and other legal services to help with pro bono matters. One way there's several ways we communicate with our members. Obviously, the list serve. We have blogs. Obviously, those are sent out periodically. Return to the Vault. Just give you a brief overview on Return to the Vault. We do hold this monthly. It's a 1 hour program beginning at noon on the first Wednesday of each month. We are not having Return to the Vault in July, just due to the July 4th holiday. You're on here, so you know it's via Zoom and recorded, and it's saved as content for the section members. And if you want to go back and find out where, if you want to go back and watch prior Return to the Vault content, there's a link in the slideshow here for where you can go and just scroll down to Real Property Roundtables. And at the bottom of the page, there's a link to Watch Now. And then one thing to note, when you receive emails from the NCBA, make sure that you've got the email address no reply at ncbar.org whitelisted so that the emails from the NCBA don't go to junk or otherwise get hung up by some sort of spam filter in your email. And then some of the key accomplishments over the course of the last year, obviously the continuation of the Return to the Vault program, joint forms. We approved the new joint commercial real estate contract. We approved a majority of the residential, with the exception of one provision dealing with putting the agent commissions in the contract. And then the NCBA Task Force on Enterprise Justice, that's chaired by Andrea Davis. Several of us met with Tyler Technologies in December, and we were able to give Tyler real life examples of some of the shortfalls that we as practitioners are experiencing with both Smart Search and Judgment Search. And we were able to say, hey, we want to search this person, and we put it in exactly how we're supposed to, and there's no results. And then we were able to kind of show them why the issues were occurring. And it seemed to be a very fruitful meeting, although we are still, working with them to try and get through some of those issues. And it's my understanding now that there is a planned kind of 2.0 version possibly in the pipeline. So hopefully that will come to fruition. And in the interim, we do have a group that is meeting with Judge Ridgway and has some breakouts on how we can hopefully further better the enterprise Odyssey system for practitioners. And then obviously more activity and events. We have really focused on trying to expand upon the opportunity for social events with the oyster roast, continuing the Hurricanes tailgate. Also had, continued the Distinguished Service Award this year. And again, I touched upon this earlier, but those annual meeting scholarships, that's something that we hope to continue in the coming years to encourage members to come to the annual meeting. It really is a great event and a really good opportunity to connect with your fellow practitioners and members of the section. And I'd just like to recognize Mary. She was this year's Distinguished Service Award winner. Mary's really worked hard over the course of the last year. Her name's on everything, as they say. She really has gone above and beyond. So thank you to Mary for the service that you've given us, given this section over the course of the last year. Just kind of touch upon a brief overview of some of the current initiatives that we're working on. We're continuing to monitor the new RENA stuff coming through the Secretary of State. July 1st, 2026 will be the next sunset for the RENA. It's our understanding that there's at least one platform that the Secretary of State's office is considering for approval. So we'll see what happens with that on or around July 1st, whether or not that gets extended. Once again, whether or not there's an approved vendor for RENA, and then also continuing to monitor FinCEN. As you probably have heard, as of March 19th, there's a stay on the enforcement of the new CINFIN rules or FinCEN rules. So, obviously we're going to continue to monitor that, see if the stay gets lifted. Obviously, there'll probably be some sort of notification from the real property section to its members advising you of that. And then also, as I've already kind of beat with a hammer, enterprise justice and the portal, just really continuing to try and enhance and make that a much better system to the extent possible. We've also partnered with NCLTA for a repository for tips, tricks, and guidance on using the portal. So if you go to the NCLTA website, there should be a tab on that on the homepage for the Odyssey repository with tips and tricks on how to search the current system. And then obviously continue our legislative tracking. Again, big thank you to Nancy and Biz for their regular legislative and bill tracking updates, and to our lobbyists, David Farrell and Michelle Frazier, Director of Government Affairs and Policy, for helping us to navigate everything with the General Assembly. And then finally, obviously the joint forms, touched upon this a little bit earlier, but we have worked to, we heard the complaints about how the forms were presented on the real property web page there. So we've worked with the NCBA to try and clean that up, make it a little bit better. Also worked with NC Realtors to get Word versions of those joint forms. And our goal is to just continually work to hopefully make accessing the forms through the NCBA website easier and better as things progress. In addition to that, we're continuing to monitor 2026 FEO1. That's the one dealing with lawyer-owned title agencies. We really haven't formed any formal opinion on that or provide any guidance to the state bar as a section. However, we've had great discussion amongst the council members and executive committee good, just robust conversation on that ethics opinion. And then House Bill 923 deals with redacting and shielding of information regarding law enforcement and judicial officials. We have provided input on that bill and tried to work with the legislature to provide guardrails that will enable us to be able to still be able to search that if we need to, if somebody's going to sell a home, and kind of determine what information's hidden, where that information goes, those sorts of types of practical matters we've been discussing heavily with the legislature. Senate Bill 423 is the deed fraud bill. That one seems to have legs. So we have, again, tried to do our best to provide good input to the legislature on the nuts and bolts of how that will get implemented should it pass, and also have provided guidance to the legislature on how just fundamentally how the bill should work. And then the foreign investment and agricultural property, that's Senate Bill 394 and House Bill 133. Again, there were emails today where we were going back and forth on providing guidance on that, and just really working to ensure that the bill targets what it's supposed to target, and that it doesn't create an undue burden on practitioners and other stakeholders. And then House Bill 797, that's the residential wholesaling by institutional investors bill. Again, something we're just monitoring. And then there's affordable housing bills and various property tax bills, including the bill that would cap reappraisals and constitutional amendments through constitutional amendments as well. And then some of the things we're looking forward to building on over the course of the next bar year is just to continue to find ways to be active and grow our membership. We want to provide quality CLE programming. And to that end, if you do have an idea for a topic, please feel free to reach out to the bar leadership. We'd be happy to run that up the flagpole to the CLE committee. We really want for the CLE presentations that we put on to be meaningful and provide a good pathway to improving your overall experience with the section. And then, also just try to have more regional social activities, kind of build upon the oyster roast that we had and the Hurricanes tailgate, and perhaps expand on that even more. Continue the return to the vault. We've got, I think, everybody lined up through October. Mary can probably correct me on that if I'm wrong. And then just want to continue to try and grow the annual meeting and continue the scholarships to provide an opportunity and pathway for practitioners to be able to attend. And the next year's annual meeting will be in Kiowa. But after that, it looks like we have a little bit of a blank slate at the moment for where we might have those going forward. So our council is working with the NCBA leadership to figure out kind of what places would be good fits for our section going forward. Continue to serve our members. Obviously education and communication with members are the cornerstone of what we do, and hopefully provide value to the section members. And again, I know I'm beating it down, but just really want to work on enhancing enterprise justice and Odyssey. And then again, some upcoming things. The CLE for the advanced topics will be on October 8th. So mark your calendars for that day. In February of next year, the Real Property Hot Topics CLE will take place. And the annual meeting in Kiowa is slated for May 14th through 15th of next year. And then the upcoming Return to the Vault presentations. Wednesday, August 5th, Troy Crawford will be presenting. On September 2nd, Matt Waters will give the Community Associations update. Will Gray will give the October 7th. And so I was wrong. So we do have it through November. That'll be by Margaret Kentliner. And that'll be intersection of real estate and estates and trusts. So look forward to hopefully having everybody attend those events. Hopefully they'll provide good value, and it'll be something that we look to continue going forward. And then I'd like to just stop and thank title companies, vendors, and other sponsors that have made all these things happen over the course of the last year. Obviously, the support that goes on at the annual meetings, CLEs, Return to the Vault, and other items like the Hurricanes tailgate. Those events wouldn't get off the ground without the sponsorships from the title companies, vendors, and other sponsors. So just really a huge shout out and thanks to you all for your continued support of our section. And then with that kind of ends my presentation there. So I will field any questions if there are any.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Peter.
You're
And
welcome, Mary.
thank you again just for your service to our section and just all of us across the state. Yeah, any questions from anyone, feel free to put them in the chat or unmute and ask Peter your questions. And if you think of something later that you have a question, feel free to reach out to him or to me or anyone else on council. We'd be glad to, answer any questions you have, or if you're interested in being more involved in the section, we'd love to talk to you about that too. So
Yeah, I'd love to have a few people email me about wanting to serve on council for next year, make my job easier.
yeah, get a head start.
That's right.
Yeah, and I tell people all the time, I think that my involvement in this section has made me love my job even more. I love what I do every day, but it feels even like more enjoyable to know that, hey, I know these people out here are doing this too, and the connections that I've made have made my life better and my law practice better, and so I think we're lucky to have such great people in our industry. So yeah. All right. Any questions? Let me check the chat real quick. Okay. All right. Anything else, Kyle? Anything from you?
Not on my end. Thank you, Peter.
You're
Yes.
welcome, Kyle. And thank you to everybody. Thank you for entertaining my uh, my rundown of the section there.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit gassed right now. I went to the Canes game last night and got back, rolled into my driveway drove in at 2 a.m. So I'm running on
Gosh.
fumes here, but
Well, thanks for sticking with us.
yeah,
And
no,
for
thank
doing
you
this.
guys.
Good. Okay. Well, thanks for joining us, guys. We will not have Return to the Vault next month in July, but we'll be back in August, and we'll have Troy Crawford, and then Maggie Davis is actually going to join him too. We're going to have kind of it's going to be kind of like when we disagree, like these gray areas in our practice and how, maybe like the title company and the real property attorney are coming at it from different points of view, and just kind of going over some of those kind of questionable things. I think it'll be really interesting. So we hope you can join us then. And in the meantime, just feel free to ask questions, and hope you guys have a good summer.
Thank you, Mary.
All right. Thank y'all.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thank you.